Hello, my noble band of outlaws, Outlaw Samurai, coming at you live with a video. And I don't know if you can see my whole face or not, but forgive me if I don't sound so enthusiastic. I'm fighting off a food coma. You know how it is, you eat a shit ton of food during the holidays, and it's hard as hell to stay awake. Anywho, I got another sword to review to you all. A Christmas present, actually, and no, it's not just a table. Here it is. Give you an overview. The Z Hunter katana. I got this as a Christmas present today, actually. This video is actually filmed on Christmas Day, just probably won't be uploaded. Let's start down here. I'm going to try to do what Matthew Jensen does. Down here at the the Kashira. It's a very simple black Kashira, most likely aluminum. It's got black enamel on it. I like it, it does the purpose. And some very cheap green Ito here, which is very loose. Fake black plastic Samegawa. I know it's like I like this sword, I really do. It's just as a collector and a sword enthusiast, I naturally am going to nitpick the not so good things. And yeah. So let's move on. The Manuki are really nice. Biohazard Manukis. That one there. One here. It's kind of done in a battle wrap, which makes this the only sword I have in any form of battle wrap. The Fushira, it's the same as the Kashira. Most likely aluminum with a black coating. The guard is the Biohazard guard. I actually really do like the Biohazard guard design. I had one on my the Sabertooth sword, but when I tried to take the sword apart, I broke the guard off. So yeah, I really do like the sword design overall. I'm actually a really big fan of this neon green and black color scheme with a little gold embellishment or brass. The saya is actually an Ishime saya. For those of you who do not know what that is, an Ishime saya is really good for practitioners because it doesn't show fingerprints very easily or at all. Not like the glossy black sayas that show fingerprints, and even if I did have a saya that showed fingerprints, I wouldn't really give a shit. I mean, they're just fingerprints. It's not like it's gonna hurt the damn thing. The Sagyo or Sageo is the same cheap nylon cord as the Ito. I mean, the Ito, it does its purpose. It gives a sword grip. I swung it around a few times at my grandma's where I unwrapped it, and I really do like it. It's the lightest sword in my collection, but it is a wall hanger. Quick note for any of you out there thinking about buying a sword like this: if you're going to actually use it for test cutting, do not do anything harder than some Kroger or Walmart brand water bottles, Lipton teas, at the most a Coke bottle, some milk jugs after you've put an edge on this because it's completely blunt. because as you can see, it has no Menuki, which means the tang probably only goes to about here, and it's a rat tail tang, so it's very weak. Or it would probably go up to here, or maybe just in this area right here. Either way, it's a rat tail tang, so very weak. I do not recommend cutting hard targets with this. If you swing this thing at a tatami mat full force, it will snap the damn thing in half. Moving on down the saya, again, it's a black Ishime, very good. And I didn't notice this at first, but after I looked at it for a while, it's also got the biohazard symbol here on the saya as well. Very nice. I like that. Up here at the kurikata, it's just simple black wood. I'm assuming it's like cheap wood, like pine. A black Ishime on that as well. The koiguchi, it has no koiguchi. It has no collar. It's just simple wood. And I forgot the end cap here, but it's just simple wood. The saya itself I find interesting because if you look, it actually has a teardrop design to it, or a raindrop, where it tapers to the right into a point. I actually find that very nice. None of my other sayas do that. Of course, I only have two other swords with an actual saya on them. But I'm going to pause this video here so I can get out the blade. If the damn thing will pause. Okay, why isn't this pausing? Okay, I'm back. There was something on the thing. As you can see, the transition to where the blade and the habaki goes, there's a slight lip here. The blade is very thin, and there's a big gap in the habaki. Fake wire brushed hamon. ZB029 carbon steel, custom design, made in China. So they claim this is carbon steel. I highly doubt that. It's probably a higher than average carbon content. It's probably stainless steel with a higher than average carbon content. But as you can see, the blade, it's got that fake green biohazard blood on it. The tip area is not that bad, but I wouldn't exactly call this thing a cutter. I was planning on sharpening this and doing some bottle cutting, but I've decided against that. I'm going to use it for what it was intended, a wall hanger. Now if you get down here, again, another biohazard symbol. It's kind of their thing, and it says Z Hunter on it. I actually really do love this sword. The aesthetics of it are very pleasing to me. Sit back and give you a slight overview of it. My family and my sister is acting up out there, so please ignore the background noise. Overall, I really do like this sword. I mean, when it comes to a Christmas present, it's not the present that matters, but the thought and the time that was taken in acquiring it and the giving it to the other person, which is one thing I don't particularly like about a modern Christmas, where in modern days everyone's trying to buy the most expensive gifts, and then next year you have to one up the other guy and everything. Is like, me, I'm happy with just a bag of beef jerky, a shirt, and a pocket knife under my tree, and Christmas dinner in my belly. But that's just me. Again, I really do like this sword. Hopefully, I'm giving you a good overview of it. I really do like this sword as a wall hanger. As a functional sword, it's very much lacking in structural integrity. But as a wall hanger, as a decoration piece, I like it. Now, not to say that if I was to go cosplaying, I wouldn't use this sword for cosplay, or maybe even going to a Renaissance fair or a sci-fi convention where you can go as a zombie hunter. I mean, it basically says zombie hunter on the blade, but aside from that, uh, I'm not. I've said that I don't like wall hangers in the past, and that's genuinely true. I'd like to be able to use my sword, but if somebody gives me a sword and they don't know about uh, katanas and what a properly constructed katana should have on it, I'm not going to bitch and moan, because they probably looked a lot and they searched around and they put in the work and the time and the caring to give me this as a present, which my Uncle Michael gave this to me, by the way, which I very much like. It's just, for the purposes of the review, I have to point out the faults in it, and I have to point out the quality and the good parts. If I had to rate this sword on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being a completely functional sword and 1 being just a display piece, I'd probably have to give it a 4. Now you're probably wondering why that's such a good ranking. Well, just because I've swung this around a little bit and I can feel that I believe it might be full tang with the tang epoxied onto the grip. So with that in mind, just I can feel some weight in the handle as well as the blade. So if I was to actually sharpen this, I believe at the most I could cut water bottles, which uh, I would actually consider to be a backyard cutting blade. But anything else, like fully functional swords, I consider to be able to cut minimal green branches, like at least an inch thick, uh, tatami mats, rolled up newspaper, stuff like that. This is not going to do that. But I am going to keep it as is. I'm going to use it as a display piece, and maybe in future videos you'll see me like I don't know, perform Niku or something. Like maybe you'll see me perform like fancy twirls with this thing, stuff like that. But in terms of usability, a 4 is very generous, and usually my ranking scale that I'm trying to come up with uh, is 1 being complete shit and 10 being Albion level. And if anyone knows Albion swords, then you know there's no explanation there. But to give you an example, Albion in the sword world, their swords are the same quality and they're the same quality and sorry, I'm really trying to come up with a good analogy. They're basically the same quality and put to the same high standards as a $1 million Ferrari. So yeah, the reason I'm tempering my judgment is because I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful. I am very grateful. I have been wanting a sword for the last 2 years for Christmas, and I finally get one, so naturally I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be stoked. But as a reviewer and as showing you sword reviews, I have to be honest, and I'm trying to not be an ass about it. So that's why I said from 1 being a complete wall decoration to 10 being fully functional. I will work out the kinks in that judgment scale later on once I've gotten a few higher end swords and I can give a better example of what a high end sword should be and what a low end sword should be. But in for decoration, since I'm just going to be using this as basically a decoration piece, uh, as in terms of just pure decoration and cosplaying use, this scores a 10 out of 10 on my book. But for actual combat or anything like that, it's nowhere near strong enough. Well, anyways, until next time, my noble band of outlaws, Outlaw Samurai, tells all y'all be crazy rednecks, be safe when using your weapons, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Hanukkah, whatever the hell you celebrate. I'm out. Peace.